biggest leap of faith that I have ever taken. I thought I was crazy. You guys are also going to think I'm crazy. Hi, my little llamas. It's TheSalmaLlama, your spiritual bestie, and I'm here to connect you to the guidance from the universe, as well as to create the life of your dreams. So make sure to subscribe. I'm about to share my completely life-changing experience of how I learned to completely let go and trust the universe. It all started with a man. About 2 years ago, I was meditating. Suddenly, during my meditation, this crystal clear vision of this man pops up. And I'm just like, whoa, this man is really hot, okay? I don't know who this man is, but keep this coming. Finished the meditation, went on with my day. Later that night, I am going to sleep. As I'm laying in bed with my eyes closed, this demigod appears once again. This time, it was so crazy. I had this information that he was Australian, he is my boyfriend, and he is 6'3". Those are the 3 details that I got, as well as what he looks like from the side. But lots of time had gone by and this Australian demigod was nowhere to be found. A year later, I am in Hawaii with my 2 best friends, Bianca and Annalise. We are doing a meditation together. Suddenly, during the meditation, my heart just explodes open. I am in this crazy, fully connected, loving, intuitive space. In that space, I suddenly feel this Australian man from my vision, which I had forgotten about. I let him go. He didn't appear, so I let that go. But now, in this crazy intuitive state, I'm feeling him in my heart, and I realize he is real, and we are energetically connected, even though I have not met this man in person yet. The next day, we're at the beach. We're sitting there for about 20 minutes. Suddenly, this little dog comes running over to us, so we were excited to pet the dog. Then you see the dog's owner starting to approach us to come get his dog. And this man is holding a didgeridoo, which is an Australian instrument. And then he starts playing it for us. So again, Australia is popping up. A few days later, we were out and about. We were talking at the beach, and this girl with an Australian accent interrupted us to ask us what we were talking about, because what we were talking about sounded really interesting. Australia was suddenly everywhere. And I have to mention this detail. During this trip, we went over to one of my friend's houses named Marty. I let her know about this vision that I had a couple years prior, and then this feeling that I had in my heart, and all of this Australia stuff popping up. She asked me, am I gonna go to Australia and find this man? And I let her know that I was not going to fly to another continent and aimlessly search for a man that I have never met. And that I would only go if there was a reason for me going, like a retreat or something. Around 5 weeks later, my friend Annalise and I are back home. I'm in Las Vegas, she's in LA. We're chatting and we're talking about how Hawaii is popping up a lot. Again, we're just seeing Hawaii everywhere. So we kind of joked, oh, is the universe sending us to Hawaii again? A few days later, my dad calls me. He lives in Hawaii. He said he had this event that he wanted me and a friend to help him with, that he would get us plane tickets and then we could stay at his place and just have a vacation and just work that one event. So that's what we did. On that trip, we go see my friend Marty once again. She just happens to say, so when are you gonna go to retreat in Australia and meet your Australian soulmate? I laughed it off and I said, Marty, I don't know of any retreats in Australia. I'm not going to Australia anytime soon. The next day, I go to one of my favorite spiritual teachers' websites, and I just happened to click the retreats button, and I just happened to see a retreat in Australia. Tickets were going on sale in 2 hours. I sat there for a moment just thinking, how am I on this website at this exact moment looking at this retreat? How did I get here? And it kind of felt like the universe was showing me that it could put me in the right place at the right time. Because I just want to mention, I was signed up to this spiritual teacher's newsletters. So usually when he has a retreat, I get an email saying we are having a retreat here. I never got an email about this retreat. I'm just on the website and here it is. Another crazy part is that it was in the Sunshine Coast and I have this crazy connection with the sun. That's another long story that I'll share another day, another time if you're interested. But I didn't have any money for this retreat. I did not have $2,600 to pay in 2 hours. So then I start talking to the universe saying, I don't understand why I'm here. You brought me here. You're showing me all these Australian signs. There's some Australian man in Australia waiting for me somewhere. Now there's this retreat, but I'm broke. I don't have any money for this ticket. So I did the only thing that I know how to do, and that was to ask for a sign. I asked to see a butterfly if I was not supposed to go, and I asked to see a purple grape if I was supposed to sign up for the waitlist, because there is a waitlist button once these tickets are sold out. If somebody cancels, then People on the wait list get to buy a ticket. 5 minutes later, my dad's friend comes over. He has a dog. His dog runs up to me. I'm petting the dog. I glance at her collar. There's purple grapes on her collar. Suddenly I know, okay, the universe is asking me to sign up for the wait list. I told my friend Annalise. She decided she wanted to sign up for the wait list as well. Since we had about an hour and a half, we decided to both do a meditation, manifest being in Australia. At the end of the meditation, we literally both went up to each other so excited, and we already felt like we were in Australia. And it just felt like we were going. I also called up my other best friend, Bianca, who had been on the Hawaii trip with us previously, and I let her know about the retreat. She said she was actually planning on going to a different retreat in Peru, but she would sign up for the wait list and kind of see how she felt about it. So now all three of us are on the wait list. We're thinking, cool, we have about 3 months to save up for an international trip and a retreat. The universe is somehow going to bring this money to us. Maybe we'll get extra tips at work, extra shifts, something will pop up. Because going there and to a retreat is pricey, but we actually never really travel to a place for a week. We like to go for an extended period of time. We intuitively feel, okay, now it's time to go. And we allow the universe and our intuition to guide us when we are sent certain places. And since it was international, we wanted to be there for like 3 weeks, maybe a month, something like that. We knew we needed a bit of money. 2 months go by and I have barely gotten any shifts at work. I had no money saved, but I did have a ticket to Australia. And so did my friend Annalise. My other friend Bianca ended up signing up for that Peru retreat. Then it's about 3 weeks prior to the trip. Bianca and I are working together and we get these Australian customers out of the blue. They ended up being really cool, so we exchanged information so that they could help me planning this Australian getaway because I honestly didn't really know anything about Australia. And my delusional self was still like, we got 3 weeks, but the universe is gonna bring in this money for this trip to happen. So now it's 2 weeks before the trip. Bianca tells me a bunch of people that she knows are calling her, telling her not to go to Peru, that it's not the right time, that it's not safe right now. She should just go to Australia and cancel her retreat in Peru. But she was confused because initially when she booked Peru, she felt good about Peru. She didn't want people's fears to get in the way of what she thought she was meant to do. One night, Bianca was actually working at her family's restaurant and a woman came in, randomly introduced herself, first and last name. I don't know who does that, some people do. Her name was Joanna Dispenza, and we were trying to go to a Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat in Australia. My friend was shook. In that moment, she immediately knew, I am not supposed to go to Peru. I am supposed to go to Joe Dispenza in Australia with Salma and Annalise. She ended up canceling her Peru retreat and getting a plane ticket to Australia with me and Annalise to a retreat that we did not have tickets for. There were so many things lining up, but where was the money? I started getting nervous because this plane is taking off in less than 2 weeks. So I called my dad and I asked him if I can borrow this money for this trip. And he says he doesn't have anything for me to borrow right now. So I am officially sweating. I probably had $400 in my bank account and I am just talking to the universe like, what is going on? You are telling me that I'm going here, that I am getting into this retreat. I don't have a ticket. I don't have money. You have never sent me somewhere and not given me the money for it. So I don't understand what is going on right now. After I talk to the universe out loud and say those things, I go and get the mail. I notice in the mail there's a letter for a loan. I just feel disgusted. I look at that letter and I just say out loud to the universe, this is what you want me to do? You want me to take out a loan for this trip? I was really frustrated and sad. I decided, let me just take my dog for a walk around the neighborhood and clear my mind and figure this out. I got my dogs out. 30 seconds later, one of my neighbors that I've only met 2 times is like, hey, you want to make some money? I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of his mouth. I was like, finally, the universe is doing its thing. Or so I thought. He informed me that that night and the following night, there were these limited edition concert posters that were being sold and they're only selling for $100, but you have to line up at 7 a.m. and they don't go on sale till like 7 p.m. Allegedly, they will sell for like $1,500 and then the longer you keep them, the more they will sell for. I knew absolutely nothing about concert posters, limited edition, resale prices, nothing. But I just said, okay, this is the universe guiding me to a way to make money. I'm gonna go for it. While we were in this line early in the morning, this scalper guy starts talking to us that's in line. He tells us that there are Adele tickets that go on sale at a certain day, and you never know how many tickets they have to sell. Maybe it's like 1, maybe it's 4, but you literally have to wake up at 5 a.m. and sit there for about 7 hours until the box office opens and be like the first person in line and run up there and try and get these tickets, and then they sell for thousands of dollars more. We just thought, how strange for this man to tell us such exclusive information. That's something I would just keep to myself. So we all ended up getting these posters that night, but then we realized, how are we gonna sell them in 3 days? Because you have to put these things up on eBay and wait for somebody to buy them, and you only have a few days to do it. And if we weren't gonna be here, there was nobody to ship them out for us. So we realized that wasn't gonna happen. Bianca and I decided to go with plan B because I did not have money for the trip. We all had plane tickets to go, but how was I going to pay for anything? And Annalise had some money for like the very beginning of the trip, but beyond that, it's up to the universe. To keep a long story short, we went and waited in line for these Adele tickets. The scalpers tried to scare us off because obviously they want to make money off of this, but when the box office opened, I ran to the attendant. There were 2 attendants. I ended up being so frazzled. There was only 1 ticket and I bought it. I had waited so many hours and I was so tired. I didn't even realize like, oh my God, this ticket is $1,000 that they just sold me, but I bought it. Immediately after, I look up the ticket and how much tickets are selling for in that section, and I think, oh my God, this is it. The concert is tomorrow. The cheapest ticket in the section that I have is $8,000. This is perfect. Let me just put it on there for $7,000. Somebody's gonna buy it. I'm gonna have $7,000 and I can go to Australia for a month and enjoy myself. Perfecto. My ticket did not sell. I'm sitting there trying to pack for Australia, but I can't even think straight because I keep just checking my ticket. Has it sold yet? Has it sold yet? Has it sold yet? Do I have money for this trip or not? Do I continue to pack my bag or not? It was terrible. Bianca happened to get the scalper's number from previously. She pretty much told him, Salma can't sell her Adele ticket. Like, can you help her? He says, because I feel bad for you, yes. So he ended up finding me somebody that wanted to buy the ticket for $1,000, so I just got my money back. Now I'm back at square one. I just don't understand what is going on. I got on my flight the next morning. It was from Las Vegas to LAX. Annalise lives in LA. Our flight together was from LAX to Maui and then Honolulu the following day. While I was there was actually when Annalise decided that she was gonna get on the flight the next day because she hadn't packed her bags yet either, knowing I only have money for a week out there in Australia. What are we doing? Following day, we get on our flight to Hawaii. There's a layover in Maui. My dad lives in Maui. He picked us up and we had lunch with him. As we're having lunch, he just suddenly out of the blue says, so I'm guessing you need money for your trip. I just look at him surprised, and then he sells me several thousands of dollars, and I could not believe it. I also was so relieved, finally some relief. I still don't have a ticket to the retreat I'm going to, but I finally have money for this trip. So what had happened with him was that he happened to sell one of his companies that week and ended up having that extra money that he was unable to give me prior. Thank you, Papa. We then flew to Honolulu, which is where Bianca had met us, and we stayed the night at one of my dad's friends' houses before our long flight to Australia the next day. Now the trusting trio has been reunited because Bianca had saved up money for the trip and was able to save the money, except for she wasn't gonna go on this trip alone. So if Annalise and I had to leave, she would have spent all that money and gone home within a week as well. We were literally just trusting the universe. We got to Australia about a week early. In line, while we were at the airport going to one of the destinations we wanted to go to prior to the retreat, there was a man in line in front of us. His shirt was a Willy Wonka shirt, and on the back of it, it said, "You have the golden ticket," and there was a golden ticket on the back of the shirt. And I remember looking at it and telling Bianca and Annalise to take a look, kind of feeling like, you know what, the universe is gonna hook this up. We are gonna get a ticket to this retreat some way, somehow. So we got to Uluru and did our thing there, and we decided to get to the Sunshine Coast one day early and book a room in the hotel that the retreat is at one day prior, because it was sold out for the days that the retreat were there. But we thought maybe this is a smart idea. Let's get there the day before, book a room there, and find somebody that works for the retreat and let them know, hey, we are on the wait list. We were like the first ones to sign up on the wait list. We flew here all the way from America. How has nobody canceled? Why have we not gotten an email? It just made sense to us to try to get there first. There was a connecting flight to the Sunshine Coast. It ended up being delayed. That made us miss our flight to the Sunshine Coast, and that was the last flight out on any airline for the rest of the night. The airline company put us and everyone else that wasn't able to get on their flight at this dingy airport hotel. We were so disappointed when we got to the hotel. We all went to our rooms separately, kind of showered. I decided I'm tired, but I'm starving. I'm gonna go get some food. On my way down, I ran into Annalise, who had just finished bawling her eyes out. We went downstairs. We start eating. Bianca randomly joins us 20 minutes later. We are just sitting there with no hope anymore. Literally talking to each other like, what are we doing? Why did we come here? Why is everything going wrong? Should we just go home? I suddenly decided to turn my head to the right and I noticed there's a TV. On the TV is the Adele concert in Las Vegas that I had just bought tickets to and tried to resell. I just think, what are the odds of that? Nothing is a coincidence. This is a sign from the universe. We are going to get into this retreat. I don't know how, and I don't even understand what this means. Something is divinely being orchestrated. The following afternoon, we finally get to the resort where the retreat is at. We immediately go to the registration area. There's hundreds of people in line. We find some of the volunteers that are working. We let her know we are on the wait list. We let her know that we flew all the way from America, hoping to get in this retreat. She takes down our information. She lets us know if we don't contact you by 5 p.m., then you did not get in. The look on her face and her body was kind of like, you're fucked. But when I looked into her eyes, her soul said that we were getting in. And that's what I hung on to. So as trusting, delusional girls that are trying to trust the universe and believe that we're getting into this retreat, as well as freaking out on the inside, feeling all kinds of fear, like, are we really getting in? Is this really happening? We decide the next step is to book a hotel because the resort is sold out that the retreat is at. As we're sitting at the table looking for hotels, I suddenly start feeling the presence of the divine in a very heavy way. Like, I sat up, could not ignore it. I can feel when the presence of the divine is more than average. My breathing changes, my posture changes, and I can feel it all around me. I start getting high. It's like this high feeling, and I can feel something pulling at my crown chakra. I'm getting this feeling. I look over to Bianca and Annalise. I'm like, do you guys feel that? They just look at me kind of annoyed. We need to find a hotel. Like, we don't care. I let them know. I'm like, I feel like something is happening. I look over at my phone. I see a hotel and immediately I feel like this is the one. I let them know. They kind of ignore me for 5 minutes. We were all not in the best mood because there was so much being risked on the line and we were trying to trust, but we were also very scared. So finally, Bianca says, okay, let's go look at the hotel Salma was talking about. We realize it's literally a 5-minute walk. It's the closest one. We walk in. The woman greets us. She is so friendly, so warm, so welcoming. She lets us know, oh, I just had a cancellation on this 3-bedroom. I can give it to you guys for the price of a 2-bedroom. The one thing is that it was not refundable. If we did not get tickets to the retreat, we would be stuck in some random town in Australia for 8 days. So we had a little powwow outside of the office. Annalise said yes, I said yes. It took Bianca a moment, but at the same time, it took Bianca a moment because she was the one that was putting all the hotels on her credit cards, and then I was sending her money, and then Annalise was sending her payments when she could because Annalise only had money for the first week of the retreat. It was so much trust in the universe as well as each other. Like, when are you gonna pay me back? Are you gonna pay me back? Should I put this on my credit card? You know, what's going on? After a few minutes, Bianca decided that she was going to trust and she was going to dive into this fully. Now we have a hotel room for the retreat that we don't have tickets to. The woman lets us know your room's gonna be ready in a couple hours. We are actually connected to the resort that the retreat is at, so feel free to go there and hang out. As we are walking to the other resort, we get the news, all 3 of us are getting into the retreat. It was like we were experiencing a miracle. We all were in tears of joy and in disbelief. We were pushed to such an extreme level of trust that we had never been pushed to before. I mean, all of the signs and the synchronicities were there letting us know that we were going to get in, but sometimes it's hard to believe when the universe is waiting till the 11th hour to give you what you're meant to have or what it's guiding you to, and you just have to trust. After crying, screaming, experiencing a miracle, jumping in joy, Annalise decided it was time for her to go home. The money for the ticket that we now were able to buy was not there for her, which was really sad for all of us because it was like we all went on this journey together, we all trusted, and now one of us is not able to get in. As I was buying my ticket, she was sitting there kind of in silence with herself, just processing what was going on. Then Bianca went to go buy her ticket and realized, oh, I gotta call my credit card company. I have to increase my credit limit because I can't fit this charge on my credit card anymore because of all the hotels. As Bianca is on this call with the credit card company, they increase her limit so much that she suddenly intuitively feels that she is supposed to buy Annalise's ticket with her credit card as well. Annalise was a little bit hesitant to receive that because that's a big chunk of money to take from somebody. We all had to have a discussion about it and really talk about how sometimes the universe sends us places to do things that are meant for us. It does provide everything that you need. It's not always in the way that you expect to receive it, but you have to be open to receiving what it is that the universe is bringing into your life that you're meant to do, even if it's in the way that you didn't expect to receive it. After having this discussion, Annalise decided, okay, I'm in, and was able to receive this gift from the universe. My trust in the universe was tested so many times during this trip. This was the most it's ever pushed me. It was delivering what it said it was going to deliver, but it was at the last moment possible. It was literally like I was jumping off of a plane with no parachute, and then it was catching me at the last second every single time. Looking back now, I feel like this experience brought me to a whole new level of trust in the universe as well as my own intuition. And I'm able to take action without hesitation, even when I feel fear, when I'm guided to something. I just know that's it, I'm gonna do it. There were so many moments prior to the trip where my logical mind would kick in and be like, you don't have money, you don't have a ticket for the retreat, you're not gonna go. This doesn't make any sense. It's not safe for you to just do something like this. I would just let those thoughts go and take action anyway and trust. Because I couldn't deny the signs and the synchronicities that kept saying, Australia, Australia, you're going, it's gonna happen. Here's your golden ticket. Here are the customers from Australia that are gonna tell you where to go. Australia's popping up everywhere. Your two friends are also going to Australia with you. What the universe was saying versus what my human ego and fears were saying. But I chose to trust. This experience actually made me realize that there is a formula of unlocking miracles and things that maybe you wouldn't believe are possible, which are trusting your intuition and trusting the signs and the synchronicities that the universe is putting in your way and around you. You can take action to whatever it is you are being guided to. Step into that unknown, even when you feel fear. That is how you unlock doors that were impossible, opportunities that you thought were impossible for you, and experience miracles in your life and live a life different than other people. And something I want to add is that do not do anything that's crazy unless you are guided to. Things around you have to say yes, 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 yes. Like if you're trying to go to Thailand for something there that your intuition is maybe saying that you need to go there to experience, make sure that even the signs around you are saying Thailand, 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 to confirm that that is a yes, yes, yes for you to jump into some sort of crazy situation in Thailand. Always make sure if you're gonna do something crazy and insane, make sure that the universe is saying, yeah, that's where you're supposed to be, as well as your intuition. In my next video, I'm going to tell you why the universe sent me to Australia, why it sent me to this retreat, and what happened and how this retreat and this whole trip changed my life. This was such a big moment. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe, and I can't wait to make this next video for you. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time.